Right, this is a quick walk around video for a Lexus IS 250 SE. Beautiful car here, finished in grey with a full black leather interior. 2007 car with 51,000 miles on the clock. What I'll do is go around the car for you, pick up on any sort of marks that there may or may not be on the vehicle for you. Lenses on the front, completely clear, no cracks, condensation or otherwise in those. Front bumper's in very, very, very nice order. I think I could see just down here, it's so light that will just polish off in 2 seconds flat. We don't do it at this stage, and we'd like to show you the cars as they are, but I mean, it's minuscule, and with a tiny bit of cutting paste it'll just come straight off. The bonnet, very, very, very clean indeed. Can't see any obvious stone chipping on there, and if there is, it's very, very minor. Come down to the near side of the car, it's absolutely mirror smooth down that side. It's very, very, very clean indeed. Front wing, beautiful condition. Front near side alloy is the one that always takes the battering, so obviously near side to the curb, but actually the spokes are very good, just a bit of curbing on the very outside of the wheel itself, but nothing that detracts from the car. But just to come down the panel work here, hopefully you can see just how clean and crisp it is. It's not to say there won't be any marks anywhere on it at all, of course there will be, but it is very, very clean. Rear alloy, very nice condition actually. And then just to come back, this way you get a better view of the panel that there, hopefully you can see, and it really is very clean indeed. Rear bumper, can't see any marks on there anywhere at all actually. Again, fabulous order. And top of the boot, again equally, no marks on there at all. And to come to the off side of the car, again it is pretty much mirror smooth down this side as well. It's kept in beautiful condition. Rear alloy, again very good, just a tiniest little bit of curbing, just hopefully you can just see it up on there. But it's again very, very minor indeed. These are completely original wheels, not being tinkered with for that I can see anyway. And panel work, as I said, all very, very, very good. Final alloy, again, very nice condition and very original too. So overall on the outside, we're looking at a car that's been kept in really, really, really nice condition. Let's go to the back of the car now. Rear offside door card looks pretty much as new in all honesty. Can't see any obvious marks on there at all. There's a full set of original Lexus mats fitted to the car. Back of the driver's seat there, really nice order. There's hardly a mark there, which is not always the case. You quite often find sort of kids being sort of battering around. Back of the driver's rear passenger seat there, very good. Just a tiny little mark on the little map pocket there that you can see, but again, which is probably just you could attend to quite easily. Carpeted areas are all really, really nice. Near side door panel, so apologise for the light, try and come down a bit, is really clean. And the leather work is an absolutely fabulous, fabulous order. Come to the front of the car now, driver's door card, really very good. Again, only tiny and perfectly acceptable amounts of wear on there. All switches are in really fine order. The sill area again is all really nice. Driver's seat electric seat adjustments all fully functional as you'd expect. And the seat itself is in very good original condition. As you'd expect, tiniest bit of wear on the paint of the leather, not on the leather itself, on the entrance and exit of the car, but completely in keeping, and something we could hide from you very easily with a bit of black boot polish, but we don't do that. But something you could do yourself if you really wanted to. Passenger seat, again, in fabulous order. So inside the car now, engine's running as it has been all the way through. Just to show you the passenger door card, again, all in beautiful condition. Glove box just open here, just to quickly show you. Got the full owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut for the vehicle. Obviously all important, of course. Dashboard is in fabulous, fabulous condition. You know, they are beautifully, beautifully made cars, these. Dual zone climate control, air conditioning working exactly as it should. But really lovely, dead easy to use. And over there, if I pull the lever back a sec so it's easier for you, see you've got heated and air conditioned seats, again working exactly as they intended to as well. But very classy, beautifully done as well. Inside the centre storage area here, we've got a nice sort of cubby hole area, but you've got your auxiliary lead ports and extra sort of charging points in there as well. But really cleverly done. Coming across, don't know why I get out of breath doing this, but I always do for some bizarre reason. You can see there, engine running, 51,319 miles. No warning lights on the vehicle at all, of course. Steering wheel, multifunction with your display button, stereo controls, and the paddles there for your gearbox change if you want to do manual changes. Auto lights, auto wipers, but as I said, all in really lovely condition. It's a very genuine car, this one. One sort of thoroughly to recommend to you. What will follow this video will be a road test of this very car. Right, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Lexus IS 250. This is the SE model. This particular car is registered, mileage is 51,312 miles, and registration number EJ07HHW. Reason for the road test, as I say in all of them, is basically we're selling now to customers from all over the near continent, the whole of the UK, such as the power of the internet and the way cars are advertised, that people are willing to travel much further afield for the right car. But we feel as a company it's right to show you the car in operation prior to you coming to see us, rather, because there is nothing more frustrating, and we know it from personal experience, when you go and see your car and there's a fundamental fault that you should have been told about and weren't. So in that sense, the videos are critical as well. It's not to say that we are going to find anything on the videos to mention, but if there is something, we will mention them to you. Excuse me 1 second, we'll just zip past. Not sure what he's doing. The road tests are also done on exactly the same road, or roads rather, outside our premises that any road test will take place on. So we'd hope would be representative of what you should feel yourself. So starting with the mechanicals of the car, what I try and do in the video also is just to go through what you would do yourself, and the obvious checks in driving the car that you do yourself, and I'll try and mimic those for you. Pardon me. So starting with the engine, obviously push button starts absolutely instantly. It's got they're very smooth engines. There's no warning lights on the dashboard at all, relating to the engine of the vehicle or any other part of the car. I'll wait for the engine to get up to maximum operating temperature before it's obviously feed back on the temperature of the vehicle, because obviously it's only just been started. But the engines are a wonderful unit. They're all but silent. When cruising along like this, you can hardly hear them, but when you put your foot down, it's a nice noise, a V6 noise, which in this day and age of sterile turbocharged engines with the lack of noise they make, it's a pleasure to be sat behind something like this, but wonderfully refined, as you'd expect from Lexus. The engine then feeds through into the gearbox of the vehicle. Very highly regarded gearbox, and rightly so. This one exhibits absolutely no wear whatsoever, as you'd expect given such a low mileage on the vehicle. But it's an abused car, I guess, in theory, could be feeling a bit sort of rough around the edges, but clearly this car isn't that at all. Obviously with automatic gearboxes you should do kind of the static test, which is pop it into neutral, then select drive, pop it back into neutral, so then select reverse, and just see if there's any delays, any thumps when they go in, because it could suggest there might be a little bit of internal gearbox wear. Nothing on these, and I've never had one on a Lexus. It's been pretty much been always the competitors. The engine gearbox absolutely perfect, but what's lovely about them is the way they match up. You know, it probably was tempting for Lexus to put a smaller capacity engine in for emissions reasons, but then it would have ruined the drive of the car. You know, I'd rather pay an extra £10 a month or whatever happens to be in road tax over and above a 2 litre to have something that, you know, I thoroughly enjoy driving. It's got the right amount of power. It's not stupidly powerful, but it's not wanting for power. It's effortless in the way it goes about its performance. It's safe, so you can overtake crisply and easily. But it's just a fabulous match to the gearbox. And it also means the gearbox isn't having to kind of hunt up and down the gears to try and sort of keep the momentum of the vehicle, which can often be the case with small capacity engines. And that also affects their economy too, because, you know, in theory and in static laboratory tests, a 2 litre would no doubt be a you know, more economical car. But in the real world of driving, when you're actually trying to get the thing from A to B and you're having to hoof it to get it to go, then you find that the economy plummets on them by comparison. But there we go. The gearbox also has a manual option, so you can push it across to the right hand side there, and you can just nudge it with the gear lever. There you've got 6 speeds on the gear change. You come back down the gears like that, or you can use these paddles on the steering wheel here. I've got a readout directly in front of me to tell me what gear I'm in, but it's really handy. So I mean, if I was behind a kind of horse box now and I wanted to sort of zip by it, if you did it in auto mode, quite often the automatic gearbox wants to pop back up more quickly and then change up, so that I chop into third, put my foot down, zip by, and there's no worry that the gearbox is going to suddenly change gear halfway through the operation. And it's a really lovely system to use, and so smooth, it really is. Brakes on the car, by the way, nice solid, pulls the car up nice straight and true. There's no vibrations coming back through the brake pedal of the car at all. Lovely car to drive. Just going to check the cruise control function. That's all working exactly as it should. Obviously, whilst at speed, I mean, they're very quiet cars, but obviously if it had a sunroof, a new windscreen fitted rather, there, or a door seal had been damaged and it wasn't quite right, then you end up with sort of road noise or wind noise coming into the car, which would spoil what was a really refined vehicle. But this is exactly as quiet as it should be. So it's a very refined vehicle. Steering on the car's really positive. Again, just cannot detect an ounce of wear in it. There's no slop in it. There's no looseness about it. It's, you know, it's just got a lovely. I mean, track's absolutely bullet straight, as you can see. There's no vibrations coming back to the steering wheel, but it's lost none of the tautness and tightness from new. And likewise, the suspension of the car, which is beautifully judged on these cars. And forget what this stupidity of road tests come up with on these car magazines. They absolutely do my head in, which I'll come to in a second. But in terms of kind of the road test of the vehicle, looking out for issues, what you should be looking for is when you're going over a bump, can you hear any kind of secondary noises, little metallic kind of clunk or knocks or bangs from underneath? Probably completely safe, but just make the car feel very old indeed. This exhibits none of them. Most of those things will be things, only little rubber bushes within kind of little drop links or anti-roll bar links. Sometimes suspension struts kind of move around a bit with a bit of age, but it just makes the car feel a bit wandery and old, and you know. But this is wonderful. But no, as I was kind of alluding to there, it's just such a lovely car. And again, you know, when they road test these vehicles when they're new, they pitch them up against the, you know, the teacher's pet, which is nearly always the 3 Series BMW, which is a great car, by the way. So don't think I'm saying it isn't. It is a great car. I mean, if you want one for pure handling, then the 3 Series is a better car, you know. But unless you're going to be driving it 10/10ths the whole time, what the 3 Series isn't very good at, or is no good at all, in all honesty, is going over bumps like these. Whereas this one just glides over the top of them. The 3 Series will be bang, 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 bang into them, and especially down the little roads we're going to go down now. And I've had enough to know. It's not that I'm saying this just out of sort of sheer bias. I'm not at all. But no, a 3 Series is a lovely car. You know, if you want absolutely overtly sporting and you can put up with the ride, then go for one. But no, I mean, this one reminds me more, I guess, of a C-Class Mercedes in the way how refined, because I mean they are very comfortable, to be fair to them, you know, very, very comfortable cars, nicely judged, well damped chassis. But what they have got is a more wooden feel to the chassis. You feel as though you really just want to waft along. You don't want to push on with them at all. They're capable, but you just don't feel like it. Whereas this one does. The steering's that little bit sharper. Corners that little bit flatter too. And the only other car in the class, which I always deride, and I do apologise, is the Audi A4, which I can't abide. It's, you know, they're very comfortable, they're very refined, but God, they're boring. Really dull cars, nose heavy, big plough on understeerers. Just not my cup of tea at all. I think this has got the nicest compromise of all of them. It's capable enough to virtually be able to keep up with the 3 Series, but it's, you know, it's as comfortable as a C-Class and much more fun than any of the others. But it's also a damn sight more reliable than all of them. Looking around inside the car, all in absolutely fantastic condition. Obviously, very well specified cars. You got heated and air-conditioned seats all working perfectly. Beautifully built, of course. They really are fantastically well-made cars. But looking inside here, you know, it feels solid when you drive the car. That's something very hard to get over in the videos. But you've got dual zone climate control, you've got auto lights, auto wipers. You know, cruise, as I said, you know, it's just a lovely specified car, and as I said, very nice condition in here. It's, you know, I'm looking around quickly. You know, obviously I've done a walk around video which picks up on any some minor issues, but I can't really see anything at all. So I just set the wipers because they're a bit of a pet hate of mine.